kick it.
Hello, all of you Slimesters out there, because this is usually a Patreon exclusive. Welcome to the first public episode, I think, of Game On. This is usually a Patreon exclusive. This is my boy, Hammy.
Hey, everybody.
Hammy, for those who've been on Patreon, have seen Hammy in our Clarissa Explains It All game episode, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Poor Dylan.
But
the hell? He's got 4, he's got 5.
But this episode is different in that the game we're playing is not a game that you can find at stores. I did an Instagram Live last week giving a bit of a teaser for this. We received an email from a wonderful guy named Ben who has made his own game. And he's been trying to get this financially supported so he can have the game made on a bit larger scale. And because this game is very much inspired by 90s Nickelodeon, he thought that we would be a good fit, and especially since we love board games. So he asked if we would take a look at it. I said, yes, absolutely. So here is Hydro Soakers, which... Hammy and I were talking about some of the game pieces. It's like a Super Soaker's version of chess, in a way. And like we were describing the movements of some of them, and he was like, "Oh yes, if the bishop was riding a knight, that kind of thing."
Yes, that's what I said.
But there's a lot to it. But it's one of those games what was one of the ones I was talking about earlier? Oh, the Buffy game, because we did the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There was a lot of rules involved with it, but it's really easy to keep up with once you get started, and I think that's going to be the case here. So, take a look at the board, take a look at everything. I'll do a voiceover talking about how the game is played. We're going to interview Ben in the second half of this episode, as my kids are listening to YouTube in the next room.
It's true.
So we're just going to go ahead and jump in and get started. Hydro Soakers is created by Upsize Fun and is designed for 2 players ages 8 and up. I said previously that this game is inspired by the 90s with some Nickelodeon, and it is very obvious. Looking at the game board itself, there are towels that have some of the Nickelodeon bumper characters of the late 80s and early 90s. There's also a Game Boy on the game board. One of the towels is covered in slime. Also, within the event cards, which I will elaborate on soon, there are attachments that are taken from direct inspiration with the Nickelodeon Blast lineup. The Blast Pack, Time Blaster, Blast Box, those sort of things. Not to mention that the logo for Hydro Soakers has taken inspiration from the NBA logo. Now that may be a bit of a stretch to connect, but that's just what I see. And fans of Space Jam know how big an inspiration the NBA was back in the 90s. I want to talk a little more about the look of the game. This looks sleek. Look at these character movers. The game already has the pieces inside of their base. Every game I've played, you have to put the cardboard piece into the plastic base. They already come out of the box that way. Plus, the fit is perfect. It's not so loose that they fall out or so tight that it ruins the cardboard. I know I'm harping on a very small detail, but when you've played enough board games, this is a small thing that makes a big impression. Plus, the creator of the game, Ben, sent these acrylic variations. I'm not sure if there was something different for these guys compared to the cardboard ones. I don't know if this was something that was needed for the game, or if it was simply because he just wanted to, just because. Either way, these look great. They're double-sided, they're durable, and the design is great. They don't have names on them, so Hammy and I were having fun coming up with different names for them. Surfer Jesus was among our favorites. The character cards, the event cards, the game board, the little acrylic hydro splats. This whole thing looks high quality that a lot of time and care was put into giving this game a very special identity. Speaking of that, the rulebook looks great too. Even the cover screams 90s with its white backdrop and various colorful sprinkles, swirls, and a confetti look. But the rulebook even has half-page and full-page fictional ads for some of the products that you use in the game, like Polar Pop, Rad Pizza, and Lizard Cola, which I'm sure Kel would love.
I do, ooh.
Okay, enough about the look of the game. It's time to get to the gameplay. The board itself is a checkerboard design with the border being a beach. There are 6 character standees with 6 bases. 3 are orange and 3 are green. The standees themselves are not specifically green or orange, just the base, and you place all of the characters in a corner. The rulebook itself doesn't say where they start, nor is there a place indicated on the board, but it does give a picture of where to start them. The characters start in 2 opposite corners, making a right angle, 2 on the top and 1 at the bottom. There are also 6 character dashboards. They are placed within reach of each player, of course. Why would you not have them within reach? There are 45 water cubes within the game. 6 of the cubes are placed in a hydro pack portion of the character dashboard. There are also 6 action tokens, 1 placed on each dashboard. Now, the characters are ready, but the board is not. There are 3 water filling stations. To determine where on the board they go, there are 6 numbered locations on the board. Roll the numbered die, and whichever number it lands on is where you will put a water fill station. There are 2 buffet tables, and they are placed on the side of the board that says Hydro Soakers, and on the board itself, place in any location other than where the water fill stations are, the 4 buffet table tokens. On the buffet table cards themselves, place 4 of the food tokens. Each table gets a Rad Pizza token, a Polar Pop token, Lizard Cola token, and Beach Gum token. Within the game, there are 33 event cards. Each card has different effects, some positive and some negative. There are also several Hydro Pack attachments, as mentioned previously. When these are drawn, do what the card says, and place the attachments under the character dashboard. Each character can have 2 attachments. If a third is drawn, the player can decide which 2 to keep and discard the third. All event cards are shuffled and placed on the event card sign on the opposite side of the board. The final bit of the setup are the inflatables and ball pits. There are 9 of these tokens in total, and you can use all or none of these. It is completely up to the players where to place these. The inflatables serve as obstacles to hide behind or have to shoot around, and the ball pit serves as a fort to hide in while shooting. They can literally be placed at any location on the board that is now open. The game is now ready. Time to get squirting.
Squirt!
The turn sequence of the game are each player can take 2 actions out of 3. The 3 actions are move, fire the Hydro Soaker, or dry off. To move, each character moves 3 spaces, 2 in a straight line, and a third move is diagonal. If the player lands in a ball pit, it acts as a fort. The character can shoot from it and be shot at, but it serves as a defense. More on that later. If the character lands on a spot that is adjacent to one of the buffet table tokens, the player can then take one of the items from the buffet table and add it to the snacks bag on the character dashboard. Players cannot move through the buffet table tokens or the inflatable tokens. If a character walks through or lands on a water fill station, their hydro pack is filled back up to 6 water cubes, and the water fill station is removed from the board. Once all the water stations are used, roll the die again to place all the water stations back on the board. That is one action out of 3. Move. The second one, use the Hydro Soaker. Each character has a maximum of 6 dice to roll. The targets must be within a straight line and or one diagonal move, including the occupied spaces by the players, and the spaces between the shooter and the target will determine how many dice to roll. If they're within 4 spaces, they roll 4 dice. If they're within 2 spaces, they roll 2. If they were within 6, they roll 6. If the target is inside of the ball pit, which again acts as a fort, 1 dice is removed. After the roll, the side that is all white is a miss. The side with an exclamation mark is an event card. The current player picks up an event card and follows the directions. If there are numerous exclamation marks, the player still only does 1. For each water splat, the shooter takes the water cubes from the Hydro Soaker on the character dashboard and places it in the hit section of their targets. Then, the player moves the hit target back the total number of hits. If the hit target had 2 or more water cubes placed on them, then a soaked token is placed on their occupied space. A soaked token means one of their actions must be to dry off. If they are sprayed again and they get a second soaked token, no actions can be made. They must dry off to get both tokens removed. Only the soaked token is removed during a dry off action, not the cubes on the dashboard. Each token from the buffet table has a special ability. The Polar Pop allows the player to re-roll all of the misses. The Rad Pizza allows the player to add 1 die for attack. Lizard Cola allows the player to take a free move action. And the Beach Gum allows the player to remove all of the soaked tokens. When a player receives 6 water cubes on their dashboard, that character is considered soaked and removed from the game. If they have any items, the items are placed where their character was last standing. There is one additional rule called the Underdog Rule. When a player has less characters than the other, then they are now considered the underdog and cannot receive soaked tokens. When the players are back even with their characters, both players will receive a soaked token when hit with 2 water cubes in 1 turn. Players continue this gameplay until all 3 characters from 1 player has been soaked and removed from the game.
That is Hydro Soakers. Henry, what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm slow on the uptake for games in general. So I was slow to pick it up anyway. However, I like the complexity. I like how it's I feel like, because I would play, I'd go out in the backyard with my buddies, and we'd do basically this just to each other. So it feels like that kind of strategy as if you were going out back with 5 other friends and just going at it with super soakers. So that's really cool. I like that a whole lot.
So you said that you liked the little help pieces.
The little help snacks, because I'm a hungry guy anyway. I like how getting shot, you get soaked, and there's a penalty that comes with that. Mm-hmm. You refill, you get in the ball pit, and I don't know, it was great. I like it. It's really great. I would play this on repeat.
This is a fun strategy game. It is in a way very, very much like chess, where you have to strategically plan defense and offense, all with only 3 players or three characters. You don't have 2 rows of characters to choose from. And yes, the snacks help. You also have to play strategically where your characters are on the board, because there's objects that you can hide behind, which sometimes helps and sometimes doesn't help, because you want to take the shot but you can't.
Yeah.
And and you're limited. You're limited on the amount of ammunition that you have, and you have to go get water again. But if the water's right in the middle of the playfield, you don't want to put yourself in danger. It's a really thinking game. This feels like something that you could introduce kids to. And then the next step would be chess. Like for kids that don't like chess. Oh my gosh, that sounds boring. Here, play this, because look at this.
Yeah.
This looks fun. I love the aesthetic of it, which I've spoken of in the voiceover. But this was a very fun game, and I really, really hope that Ben will be able to get the support that he needs to make this professionally, because this, we're not professionally, but on a larger scale. Which I guess would be professionally, wouldn't it? But on a scale of like a report card, A through F, and then if it exceeds your expectations, we have S, double S, and triple S. Where would you rate this game?
You're asking me questions I have to think about.
Well, I will say I'm going to give this a double S, which is not a rating that I give a lot of board games, but this is a fan-made thing, and there was a lot of thought and a lot of hard work that was put into this by just one person. And it's a fun game. It's a legit fun, challenging game. And I really like that you have to be smart with your gameplay. And there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of rules, a lot of things you have to move around. And even when he and I were playing, there were rules that I had forgotten about, and it was like, didn't you already take these two actions? Oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. Because you get so wrapped up in doing these things, you have to keep each other honest. But I really enjoy it. This far exceeded my expectations for any fan-made game, because I've seen some fan-made stuff, and some of it's really cool looking, but not very fun. Yeah. And the other way around. Some of it is all about the gameplay and less about the presentation of it. This has a great presentation and is very well thought out, and it's great. I really love it. Double S for me.
I liked it a whole heck of a lot. Well, part of that being, like, I had no idea how to play it when I started, and there are other games that you've introduced me to, just hanging out and stuff, that it took me forever to figure out. Like, we'd be 20 rounds in, and I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Yeah. But this one, like a round and a half, I'm like, okay, so I'll move this guy, and then this guy's gonna shoot, and so I picked it up pretty quick, which surprises me. So, man, I don't understand the S's, but I'm just gonna be sweet because I'm happy, and just put it at the very top.
All right.
Why not?
Triple S.
Yeah.
Triple S for a happy hammy.
I'm a happy hammy. It's true.
Well, I hope you guys like the gameplay, like the design and all the stuff with it. I am going to cut to a commercial break, and when I come back, I am going to have an interview with Ben talking about the making of this. So stick around for a few minutes.
Chill for a couple. We'll be back.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Splat Attack. If you are enjoying this episode, please hit the like button, subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell. If you are listening on a podcast app, please leave us a review. These small actions from you have a big impact on us.
Looking for more connection with others that love the 90s? Join us over on Patreon. We have bonus minisodes every Friday, slime streams twice a month, early access to our main episodes, and more. Go to patreon.com/splatattack to join a community of gakoids that share the nostalgia.
Let your 90s kid fly with some merch from our Bonfire store. Go to bonfire.com/store/splatattack store with hyphens in between, where we have our logo on t-shirts or coffee mugs. We also have some throwbacks to various 90s Nickelodeon shows like Clarissa, Double Dare, Stick Stickly, and more. Plus, you can play around with different types of shirts and colors. Customize your outfit with Splat Attack at bonfire.com/store/splatattack store with hyphens in between.
Timeout's over.
Welcome back, all of you Slimesters, for this special bonus episode of Game On. And as promised, we've got Ben here, Ben Craven. Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure. And I think this is also for first time for Game On. We've got Kat and
Yes.
Manny joining us.
Hello, people.
Hi.
And
I said I'd keep doing that. Hello, people.
I like that. I like that.
and even though this was our first Game On episode, this is not the first time we've gamed. We actually got to game quite a bit playing Quelf. I have you now.
Forgot about that.
But for this, Ben, what was the motivation? I should say, what gave you the idea for wanting to start making your own game?
Yes, so that is an involved question. I really loved, board games for sure, but I really liked video games back in the day growing up. Because I have no coding knowledge, I don't have any skills like that for, video games. I thought a board game would be like the next best thing. And I always loved that tactile feel to moving pieces, rolling dice, and that kind of stuff. So that was my main inspiration is as I get older, when you play with toys and stuff, you kind of want I want some rules that I want to follow. I guess my imagination's not as on par with when I was a kid, but I just like adding those rules and, it's just, I have a blast playing them and just creating them. And it was also an outlet for my artwork. So I just can throw all my art into something that, again, I can play with and, move around, and just a 3D kind of nature to it.
What was the word I'm looking for? What made
Concept?
you want to go? Yeah,
Inspiration?
what was the inspiration for the concept of the game?
So the concept, so I reached out to you guys and I was like, wow, this, I found your podcast and I was like, well, how have I not known about this forever? So I reached out and I'm sure your audience has seen the game by now. It's truly inspired by like that 90s Nickelodeon kind of feel, art style and colors and that kind of thing. But with the water guns, it was just something that I did when I was a kid, and I'm sure a lot of other 90s kids remember those water guns and
Super soakers?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And going outside and just having a ball, getting soaked, and this is also a way not to get as soaked, but you can still kind of have that fun and it's a simulation of those, just being a kid again.
Yeah, almost like that whole tag thing. It's like, gotcha.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
a lot like that.
Yep. Yeah. So, and it's all placed. It's the setting is on a beach, which I don't know why. When I think of a beach, I think of 90s for some reason, because I just like a lot of those shows and stuff took place on beaches, and they had a lot of like just that neon color, like those windbreaker jackets and stuff. They were just kind of neon.
It's all very
Neon
warm.
geometric shapes
Yes.
and loud track
Yes.
It's like the 90s solo cup, it's a lot like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Too,
Yes. Yes. So that was the main inspiration. I just threw all the things I like into this.
Now, I mentioned at the start of the episode that you had tried previously to get this kickstarted. How many attempts have you made to get this going and be mass produced?
Yeah, this will be my second attempt. So the Kickstarter was my first attempt, and it was like trial by fire, I guess. And I just knew I had something that, I've had a lot of people, at least they told me that they, enjoyed it, and a lot of play testers tell me that they enjoyed it. I thought I had something that would, speak to a lot of, people our age and even kids and or maybe their kids. So it really pushed me to say, hey, maybe I should kind of manufacture this on a mass level. And so I tried the Kickstarter. I learned some things. I failed to get that lift from the beginning, which is probably the most important thing for crowdfunding. which I guess is obvious, but it's a lot harder to gain that momentum. Um, so this is my second attempt, and the first attempt was on Kickstarter. This one is on GameFound, which is a little different. It's a little more geared towards board games, and there's a lot of things that would help to build an audience in the board game community on GameFound. So that's where I'm going to try this, and I just believe in the project so much. I can't just let it sit there.
I mean, it's very intricate because I just looked at like the instruction manual and everything. It's like, yeah, your rules are like you have everything like perfectly in sync with everything. So even if like you putting it together yourself, it's pretty damn professional.
Well,
So
thank you.
I think there'll be definitely a backing for this for sure.
Thank you. That means a lot. And I just put a lot of work into it, and I'm really happy that you saw that. And I try to also throw in little things. I guess you call it world building, but there's like advertisements in there, and like just little things that kind of, I don't know, just glues the whole thing together.
Like
really
I love the polar
Little
bear.
Easter eggs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Polar pop. Yeah, yeah. Actually, when I drew that, I wanted to draw it with like the eyes crooked because you always get them with the like one
Yeah.
eye is like halfway down.
Slightly
Yeah.
deformed.
Yeah.
Nice.
How long has this project been in the works?
This has been a long time, long time. It's probably been from inception. It was probably about 8 to 10 years ago,
Oh wow.
Wow.
and the copy that you have, Alex, is that's probably, I don't know, like a month or two ago. That was like the final build, or where it's at now. So that it had a couple changes just about a couple months ago. Just iterating and seeing what fits. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I noticed some of the differences, particularly with the box, because I've seen from other people who've had the chance to review it to try to get some interest. It's like, oh, my box is a little different. And of course, it was like 3 years ago. But even looking at some of the game pieces, there were very, very slight changes. Otherwise, like even some of the token pieces were different. How 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 many drafts have you made? Did you have other character designs that you didn't use?
Yes, I have. I have a whole slew of characters. Like I probably have like 30 of them.
Wow.
But
Wow.
each reviewer that would take the time to review the game or just look at it, or even kind of just interact with me, I would create a character for them based off of their YouTube channel or whatever it
Oh,
is.
wow.
That's very
So
sweet.
I have a whole backlog of these characters, and also characters that I just like. Alex, the one that you showed earlier, that was kind of based off of Crocodile Hunter, and with the crocodile on his head. Um, just because I enjoyed that, and all this again, all this stuff is just things that I just loved growing up, and so there have been lots of drafts.
I'm assuming, have you tested this out on friends and family while you were doing the concept?
Yes, yeah. So the very first one I tested with my wife, very first time, and she's like, "Oh, this is cool." I was like, "Oh, all
Just
right."
plain and to the point. Yes.
Yeah.
It was
like-
cool. Thank you.
I said, "Thanks, I guess." It was hard to get it out of her, but I was like, "Okay, so what did you like? What didn't you like? What do you think I could change?" She's like, "I don't really know." She wasn't really a gamer, so I
Get some
tested with a couple.
actionable feedback.
Yeah. But I took it as like, okay, she didn't say she hated it or, this is a complete waste of time. What are you doing? That kind of thing. So I was like, okay. But I knew she wasn't a gamer, so I took it to some other people and then I sent it out. Got some great feedback, and again, iterated on, use that feedback to make some changes for the better. And that's been the process for the last 8 years or so.
That's like getting feedback from my mother. I love my mother. She'll come see one of the plays I'm in, and then or I'll draw something that's I put a lot of time and effort into. I'll show it to her. What do you think? It was good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else at
That's
all
such
to
a
say?
mom answer too.
It is.
Yeah.
It was
No,
good.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Anything you would change? No, I really like
Yeah,
it.
I'm happy. It's great.
Or at least it's not. We just want you to be happy.
Oh,
At least it's
Yeah.
not that.
Oh.
That's way worse. That's way
That would
worse.
make me
Wow.
feel instantly unhappy.
Yeah.
oh.
I would just throw it in the trash at that point.
No, 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 no.
No, absolutely not.
So what
I mean,
is-
me, look, I'm not a gamer, but reading that instruction manual, it just really got me very, very excited about it. And I'm not really lying about that at all. I really think it's a really unique style and unique idea for a board game. And I totally 100% agree with it. So
So
you got my attention.
Thank
What-
you. Thank you.
what is the next goal that you have in mind? What are you wanting to accomplish with this next crowd raise fundraiser thingy, whatever it is? I always forget what it's called.
Crowdfunding.
Funding. Okay,
I guess.
yay.
Sure. I need money. Is basically what I'm saying. My goal is to produce this for a cheap. So I have this company that creates these one-off games, but the cost is just astronomical. So I don't make too many of them. So what I want to do is create them basically so they're affordable is the main goal. So I need to get them mass produced for a little cheaper, and that's what I'm raising funds for. So I have quotes already. It's going to look even better than what you got now. The dice are going to be a little bit larger. They're going to be engraved. It's actually going to have two sides on the board. It's going to have a whole other arena to play in. So it's going to be even better. But in order to do that, I need the funds to, get it mass produced. And of course, that'll bring the cost down.
Yes. What is the first, provided that we meet the goal, do you have a goal in mind in terms of funding that you would need? Or is it just see what I can get?
No, it is going to be a goal. It's a very tumultuous time right now for shipping and overseas manufacturing, that kind of thing. So I don't know if I can give a ballpark. I mean, well, yeah, I can give you a ballpark. It's going to be like $8,000 probably is the funding goal. And, if I have 200 backers, if I have 200 backers at I'm only going to have one level. You're just going to buy the game. I should make that goal easy. And then any extra is just, icing on the cake.
How much are you going to charge for the game?
The game will be, as of right now, it's going to be 40, which is, if you look at the market, I think it's for what you get in this game. I think is going to be, a steal. So,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Also-
games that are way more expensive. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I want this to be I don't want this to be out of reach for anybody. So, especially families or if you have a kid or, friends, whatever, I don't want this to be, cost you an arm and a leg just to get it and play it. So that's the goal there.
You all saw the beginning of the episode, how many pieces, how intricate all this stuff is. I mean, there are games that have just as many pieces that are probably twice that amount. This is a very, very affordable game for a game type this size with this care that was put into it. So that's a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
That's the best part, man. I mean, you have so much passion for this, and it really shows.
Yeah, and that's that passion again. I almost wish I didn't have that much, passion into it because I'm like, oh, man, I could just let it go sometimes, but it
You
just keeps
can't.
coming back.
You're
You
like, the
can't.
stakes are high. I need to do
Yes.
this. Yeah.
I mean, been there, been
Yeah.
there, am there. I totally understand it. I've worked with people who also have equal passion. Like I mentioned to you previously, passion recognizes passion, and this is I want to help out in any way that I can. This episode is going to be coming out as of the time we're recording this. It's going to come out this Friday, which is going to be February the 7th.
Which is my birthday, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
As of today,
Today.
the audience needs to say
Yes.
happy birthday.
Oh,
Ben?
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It's just the perfect gift. Thank you.
But with that, I want to say because you had made mention previously that the Kickstarter failed because you were trying to you didn't have the lift at the very beginning. For those of you who've never worked with Kickstarter before, you have 1 month, I think, is what it is, or so many days to try to raise all the funds that the creator has set as the goal. If they don't raise that funds, if they don't meet that goal, they don't get that money. And whenever you're starting this project, and if you just start the project and then try to get people motivated and excited and want to get this thing, or try to save up money to get this thing, by the time there's enough interest, you've lost so much precious time to get the show advertised, or get the game advertised and get people interested in this thing. So right now, there is no fundraiser that is taking place. There will be later this year. So what we're doing right now is helping get the word out that this game is being made. Where can people follow you to learn more about the game and when there's updates coming up?
Yeah, so I was hoping to have the GameFound page. It's a preview page, so you can go there and look at some more of the game, more details, videos, whatever you want. It'll all be right there. I was hoping it would be up by today, but it's not. So eventually we'll have that page there where you can just click on follow. But other than that, I'm on Instagram at Upsize Fun. I'm kind of here and there on Twitter, but Instagram's the main bit there. And I'll have everything you need to know there for sure. Oh, and then secondly, on the GameFound, I forgot to mention this, on the GameFound preview page, when it launches, if you follow it before the crowdfunding campaign starts, you're actually going to I'm going to offer you a $5 discount on it. So you're actually going to pay $35 for the game if you just follow before. So, and that's one thing that Kickstarter didn't do, that GameFound does do, is offers that kind of thing. So, so there's another incentive to follow along there.
But yes, please follow. We'll put all the links down below in the description. Please go follow those, support those. Keep an eye out for when that crowdfunding starts, which as of now, you had estimated that it was going to be April, June, somewhere in there.
Late April, early May, probably.
May.
Yeah.
So somewhere in that time frame, keep an eye out. But until then, please, if you know people who enjoy board games, if you have a family that is into this kind of thing, check it out and give support. Support somebody who is very passionate. I mean, yay, board games at the store, cool. This is cooler because it's not just a big manufacturing
It's not a
brand.
corporation. It's
No,
a
it's
person doing this.
Right.
It's not AI. Through AI. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's just me. Just me.
If and everyone, not to say, yay, dreams. If you guys have a dream, you should follow your dream. But yes, if you have something that you want support for and are looking for some help and you need backup for it, you would want that. And that's what we're asking for with Ben. He has a great product. He's a solid guy. Give him some support. And if gaming's not your thing, share it, because you probably know someone who's into it. Even if you can't financially support, which we totally get, times are tough. it costs you nothing to share and support. Share his page, share this video, give him some love. He's a solid guy.
Yeah, thank you. Just sharing it alone just goes the longest way. So
it does.
Yes.
Yep. Spread the word.
That helps a lot.
All right. With that, I am going to call it for our final game episode of the season. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all for you Slimesters who are here for this bonus episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And until the next time, we'll splat you later.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode was recorded at Splat Studios, in virtual home studios, though none in Florida.